Hi guys, had a really good question on Mr. GTV Ask Mike Monday, and I didn't do Ask Mike Monday because the Wi-Fi was really awful and I didn't want to be halfway into something and it failed, so we'll do that again, no problem. But the question was really is what do we do with all this shit in the world? What do we do with all this stuff that's going on at the moment? And to be honest with you, you know, if you watch the world and you look at where it's going, I've got to be completely honest with you, even though I'm an optimist, it's not going in a very good direction at the moment, is it? Well, that's because I'm choosing my words here because I don't want to get deplatformed. That's because people are agreeing. What expands is what you allow. It's exactly the same in your private life or your business life. You know, people will do to you what you allow them to do to you. You know, if you're being abused, used and took advantage of by a business partner or a works colleague or a boss or another competitive company or whatever situation you're in with your products or service, or if in a relationship you're the underdog, it's because you've allowed it. If it's to be, it's up to me. If it's to be, it's up to you. Life's in your response. If you allow people to take advantage of your good nature and you continue people pleasing, they'll be happy and you won't. Nothing wrong with people pleasing. I please people all the time, but I make sure that I come first. That's selfish, but being selfish is absolutely an assertive, powerful, sovereign thing to do. You've got to be selfish because you've got to be your best self, and if you come from love and you are your best self, then people know where they stand. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Don't do something begrudgingly and then complain behind the back. If people don't know that you're not happy, then they're going to put more on you, and that's exactly what's happening with the government. They're trying to govern your mentality. That's what it's all about. And if people submit and stand under these draconian laws, then they're going to do more. I mean, what they're doing is, it's a global situation. They're not just doing it haphazardly. It looks like it's random, or we're trying this and we don't want to do this, but absolute BS. They know exactly what they're doing. There's no confusion. The confusion they are projecting to put us into disorder. But they're very orderly. They've got a regimen. They're regimented, and it's coordinated across all nations. Just have a look. Join the dots. Look at the narrative. They've got behavioural insight teams and think tanks all over the world. They meet at these global meetings, get all the world leaders together, and they're all on the same agenda. And the agenda has a number, which I'm not going to mention because that will that will actually trigger the algorithm to delete this particular post. But it's got the numbers 1 and 2 in it, but the other way around. It's agenda 1 and 2, but the other way around. So you can read it. I mean, it's not hidden. It's a public document. There is a strategy towards it called Lockstep, and that's what they're rolling out. You know, bumbling Boris and all these Macron and what's going on in China, what's going on in Australia, Israel and Portugal and all over the world. You know, they're trialing different things in different areas and seeing how far they can push the public. Don't be pushed. Now, I'm not saying protest violently, but you are entitled to peaceful protest, and there are ways of defending through common law the illegal arrests of people. They've just paid massive compensation in Italy for people who've had the business closed. It was took to court. They've had to pay out millions of pounds of compensation for illegally closing people's businesses. It's got to be challenged. So what you should be doing, in my opinion, to answer the question in Ask Mike Monday, is lobby your MP. Ask your MP what he's doing. Ask your MP, did he even go to the House of Commons hearing on extending the I'm choosing my words here. There was an Act of Parliament that was passed about 2 weeks ago. It never hit the mainstream media, and if you saw it on YouTube, it was laughable. I mean, the MPs were laughing in the Houses of Commons. The woman speaker, it was as if she was addressing a comedy show at a pantomime. It was absolutely disgraceful. They didn't have digital voting. There was probably only about a couple of dozen MPs there on one of the biggest decisions that was made in Western democracy to shut down the people's right to freedoms. And that was extended for another 6 months. It never hit the mainstream media. And there was hardly anybody there. Now, ask your MP why he wasn't there. Ask your MP what he's doing. And if you don't get the answer that you want, tell him you're not going to vote for him. That's how you hit them. But have you done that? I have. Have you put your name on any of the petitions? I have. Are you praying about this? Are you setting up crystal grids? Are you doing affirmations? Are you cosmic ordering? Are you using the law of attraction? If you believe in that stuff, I have. Not being smart-arsed here, I'm just being honest. I say what I mean and mean what I say. If you're offended by what I say, switch it off. Tell the truth. If you don't like what's happening in the world, what are you doing about it? Most people are queuing up and agreeing and they're like nodding donkeys. But it's very obvious to me that society's being changed and it's irreversible. There'll be no going back to normal. And the new normal, I don't like it one bit. And you won't like it one bit. Look at Australia. They've been in lockdown for months. I've got somebody staying with me at the moment who's from Hong Kong. He'd be very scared to be interviewed because when he went back to his country, he'd probably end up in a detainment camp. But in the condominiums, when they announced lockdowns and curfews, they had drones going over and they were welding up the doors on condominiums so people couldn't get out. Yes, they were. And very much the same sort of stuff has been going on in Australia. I've got friends that have talked to OneCam in Australia, certain areas, and look at the Australian government and the narrative. I mean, I've seen nothing like it since 1943. Open your eyes, guys. So the answer to the Ask Mike Monday question, why is it going on? It's because we're allowing it to go on. We as a population are billions of people, and the governments have got, I don't know, maybe thousands of people. Why have they got the leverage? Why have they got the power? It's because we're giving it to them. The police are public servants. The government are public servants. We're the public. We're the population. And there's physical things that we can do, not condoning violence. Suggested some of them, and there's more besides. Peaceful protests, writing to your MP, writing to the newspapers, not watching the news, not participating in giving ratings to the propaganda. Just hit them where it hurts. Refuse, turn up with money. Turn up with money. And say, I want to buy something, here's my money. And when they refuse it, walk away. And if we all did that, refuse to comply peacefully. That's what we do. Now, you might not like to hear this, and you might not agree with it. Do I care? No. I care though. I care about my grandkids and my great-grandkids. I haven't got great-grandkids yet, but I will have. I care about future generations. And what we've got now is we've got more chaos and more fear-mongering with all the sharing stuff about drinks being spiked and all that sort of stuff. And then we've got the COP20 whatever, 26, and the climate crisis. And oh my God, why don't you just top yourself now, eh? The world's coming to an end. No, it isn't. The world will be absolutely fine. It's people that are creating this. And if you think for 1 minute that this COP26 is going to do anything, when the biggest violator of human rights and pollution isn't even attending, and they're making millions and millions and millions of pounds out of this for themselves, just ask yourself who's benefiting from all this. It's not the population, it's not the billions of people who are the normal people, the citizens. It's the government and all their cronies with cronyism who are running scams, and they're legalising these scams through the courts, what are called acts of parliament that you've got no vote on, and people are making decisions who haven't been democratically voted by you and me. What are you doing about it? Have you turned up to a Labour Party meeting? Have you turned up to a Conservative Party meeting, a Liberal Party meeting, a Green Party meeting? Or are you just watching the box and watching more propaganda being put more into fear and being suppressed? I'm into personal power. I'm into being liberated and being free and being the best me that I can be. And I want you to be the best you that you can be, but you've got to wake up. Because if you think any of this is about health, well, God bless you. But do your research. So the answer is, this will continue if we allow it. And whatever you put your attention on grows. That's the metaphysics. Where attention goes, energy flows. If you watch this stuff and believe this stuff, you'll expand this stuff, you'll radiate this stuff. And I sincerely recommend, hand on heart, that you consider the implications of doing something which, I'm going to choose my words here, having something put into your body that's not got any approval, that is spurious, unknown, with long-term implications that they've not tested. And if you look at other countries who are now at the stage where they're actually on their fifth. So if you think that this is ever going to stop, these companies are getting richer and richer, people are getting sicker and sicker, and there is a way of checking that, which you can. Have you done it? Have you looked at the stats? Have you looked at the statistics? Have you looked at any of that? I have. And I'm not, well, the word begins with the V, and I'm not an anti-Via. I'm not. When I came to Thailand in 2003 for the first time, there was yellow fever. Had the jab, had tetanus jabs, had whooping cough, all of them. As a kid, I possibly wouldn't choose to do it now because I look after myself in different ways. But I respect your decision, your body, your choice. But we haven't got your body, your choice at the moment. But it should be. What are you doing about that? So just be aware of all of this. So in answering the question, what do we do about it? We wake up and we take positive, purposeful action with love, but with power. Be powerful. Enjoy your mind. If you've got any comments that are constructive, put them in the comments box below. If you want to argue with me negatively, see ya. I don't want to be you. God bless.